Hello, everybody. My name is Noah Hansen, and you are tuning into a short for the OIC podcast, and I'm here with my good friend, Kevin Peterson. How are you doing today, Kevin?
Living the dream, one smile at a time.
In this podcast, we're going to be talking about why we created this podcast in the first place. In this podcast, I just want to really go over our real intention and what has led up to us making this podcast. So, Kevin, since it's been an idea in your mind for some of years, and with me, it's only been a recent venture, I want to direct this podcast sort of at you and your story leading up to the OIC podcast. Why are we here today?
The reason why we created the Omnipresent Information Connection podcast is to be able to give you authentic information in a new way starting today, to be able to enhance your life in a way that you see fit today, to bridge the gap between hoping and wishing information to actually knowing it in a new way today.
Yeah, and that's a powerful statement there. How can we provide the listeners with information that they know they can trust? What do we do?
Well, first and foremost, Noah and I, we research the information. And when I say that we research, we take weeks out of our time to be able to really study the information, to be able to watch countless videos, to be able to read countless books on the topic of what we're about ready to be able to discuss. After that, then we find professors, we find scholars, teachers that are actual experts in the field to be able to authenticate the information so that when we leave the links below, we're actually leaving the best links that we know that provide you the best information starting today.
That's right. So those links are hopefully being utilized by you so that you can really get to the root of why we say what we say, why we make the claims that we make. And it's all authenticated. It's even the godly truth that we put into our podcast, even when we mention God's name in podcasts, that's all based on real experience, real amazing relationships that we have with the Lord. And this is something that many people don't understand, but and many people who even talk about God don't really get often, and that is that it's a real relationship. It's just as real as the relationship you might have with your best friend or your child or your mother or your father. So when Christians and when people will talk about having a relationship with God, understand that's we're intimately communicating, we're getting answers. And so I don't want anyone to be discouraged when we talk about God in these podcasts, because although God is the main focus, the information that we provide is all 100% authenticated, and it's going to only enhance the lives of the people who apply the things that we ask them to consider applying to their lives, things such as mental clarity strategies, things such as emotional intelligence strategy.
There's so many topics that we actually bring to light every podcast that we have created a website to be able to showcase all the great things that we have to be able to offer in a new way. And that's www.inanewway.com. And you can be able to go there and you can be able to see blogs. You can be able to see other people's comments. You can be able to literally get community connected in a way that matters most to you. And so you can be able to have a unique, intimate walk in this information with us. You can be able to share information that you have learned throughout the years that has become valuable and a good life lesson learned for other people. Plus, on top of that, being a connected listener and viewer, because we're also on YouTube as well, is that we also have merchandise that you can be able to buy as well, whether you like the t-shirts, whether you like the ball caps, or the other apparel that we actually offer. Understand that the OIC simply is, oh, I see. Get it? If not, you can go to the website and get it, right? So
that's right. Nice.
So the Omnipresent Information Connection is more than just a blog. It's more than just a podcast. It's more than just a video. It's the highest quality, authenticated information that you could be able to possibly receive, broken down into very simple, digestible bits and pieces of information that you can be able to carry with you for the rest of your life.
That's right.
We just don't produce content to be producing content. We actually produce content that matters most to you and for you, because your life matters to us today.
We don't claim to be the experts here in every little thing that we talk about and every fact that we give you. We don't do all the experiments that we're going to be telling you about in this podcast. We don't discover all the archaeological sites that we tell you about in our podcast. But we go straight to the experts, and we get the facts from that peer-reviewed source of information in order to give you the best possible information that we have, that the world has available. And the world's changing so quickly and so fast, so many new discoveries and research projects, and old world civilization sites are being discovered and being made known to the public, being released to the public. However, it's not being talked about on our mainstream media, which is why so many people still don't know about so many of these things. There's so much science that has come to light in the last just few decades even, that would be so powerful if it was known by the general public, but it's not known by the general public because it's not being taught in our colleges yet, because it's not in our textbooks yet. And that's why we provide you with this podcast, among other intentions, is because we want you to have the best, most powerful life-enhancing information that's going to change your life forever, and in how Kevin and I would put it, bring you closer to God on a daily basis. Just having self-awareness, having awareness of how to provide for your own health, and having awareness of human history, having awareness of our story, of our human story. So all sorts of wonderful things to be talked about in the podcast in the future, but we have everything that I just mentioned already in one way or another on an episode of our podcast or several episodes.
Absolutely. And if you want to be able to take a step deeper, if you want to be able to walk deeper into a particular topic, understand that I, Kevin Peterson, am a master certified life coach. I've been life coaching people for over 33 years now. Been able to teach, train, motivate, and direct people to be able to live their very best lives starting the very moment you call me today. Now, understand that, so we have life coaching services available, but now, wait, there's more. We have pastoral services available. So if you want to be able to know more about the Bible, if you want to be able to get really deep and enriched into a topic, I am also a pastor as well, so that you can be able to go right to the source and be able to get the answers that you need most received in the quickest amount of time possible. That's why we created the website inanewway.com, because that is your communicational outlet. It is your portal to greatness and everything you want accomplished today.
All that stuff, anything and anything that you could possibly be interested in that's going to take you deeper into a deeper understanding of yourself and God, that's going to be found at inanewway.com. Now, I don't have all the credentials that Kevin has listed off that he has. However, I do have a lot of experience in a lot of different types of belief systems before being soundly rooted in Jesus Christ. I have so many experiences of trying and failing and trying again with all these different belief systems that now that I've found one that actually works and is actually very, very real beyond comparison to any of the other areas that I've done personal study and even college study in, it's mind-blowing. And my intention being on this podcast is to provide people with a way to understand that you don't need to go to college for 4 years to understand something. You don't need to have a doctorate in biblical studies in order to know the Bible. You don't need to go across the world in order to discover some of these profound new ways of thinking about human history. All you got to do is meet us here on the podcast to get this information from a trusted source.
Now, Mark Twain has said it the best. Truth is stranger than fiction, but it is because fiction is obligated to stick to possibilities. Truth isn't. And that's what the omnipresent information connection, its whole root, is all about, is unrestricted, authenticated truth given to you in a new way starting today.
The absolute truth.
So if you like authenticated truth being able to be given to you in a new way starting today, we encourage you, become a subscriber. Go to our Patreon page and please donate, because even the littlest of money that you donate can be able to help us go a long, long way. Because we are a pay-it-forward company. And here's what I mean, is that 100% of the proceeds that go into our Patreon also then go into our community. Because as you give unto us, we give back to the community. And our communities are DeForest, Sun Prairie, Madison, Wisconsin, and the surrounding areas. So if that inspires you, if that motivates you, if that puts new life into your community, then please become a Patreon subscriber today and help us in a new way today.
Yeah, stay tuned for some of those community events coming out. Still cold out here when we were recording this podcast in February. It's actually been really nice today, about like 50 degrees. Wow, in February. But once we can start getting out into those communities, it's going to take your help, listeners, on Patreon. It's going to take a lot of our personal time, me and Kevin's personal time, without any real instant reward. But we are doing this because we care. We're doing this because we want to positively influence people in any way that we can. That's why we do a podcast, because it's such an easy, free platform for you to listen to everything that we say for free, get all this wonderful information that you'd have to pay someone $100 an hour to get in some cases. You know, we provide you with the free information platform.
And most importantly, life puts you where your brain acknowledges you best. And I pray that you would find that the OIC podcast and inanewway.com would be your positive outlet to so much more in your daily life today.
Thank you for tuning into this podcast. All those links will be in the below where you can find our Patreon and our website. We enjoy seeing you there and all the comments and all the people who are taking the surveys and everything on that website, people who are commenting on our videos on YouTube. Thank you so much, and we look forward to seeing you there. Till next time.
This has been another life-enhancing, authenticated podcast aired by the OIC and brought to you by the faithful OIC sponsors and contributors. Please tune in every week and subscribe to our podcast. And while you're there, explore our website with all the posts, videos, and podcasts that we have created with you in mind. While you're on the journey through our website, you will see our Patreon page where you can become a faithful contributor yourself with the freedom to be a part of our team today. Thank you.